All right, let's talk about, well, talking. Specifically, the art of the chat. We're going to pull back the curtain on how we talk to our devices and, maybe more importantly, how they're learning to talk back to us in a way that's, actually helpful. So, here's what we've got on tap. We'll kick things off with a familiar problem, then jump into the solution. After that, we'll cover the rules of a good chat, see it all in the wild, and wrap up by looking at our conversational future.
All right, section 1, when chatbots go wrong. And I'm willing to bet this is an experience we've all had. You know that feeling when you're just trying to get a simple answer and instead you just hit a wall? A digital dead end?
Ugh, we have all been there, right? You've typed out a perfectly reasonable question. Maybe you even try rephrasing it a couple of times, and this is what you get back. It's just nothing. It's that sinking feeling, that moment of pure frustration that just completely kills any hope you had of getting a quick answer. Yep, we've all been there. And this is the exact moment the conversation just collapses. You're stuck in this endless loop, probably thinking, I should have just called someone. But here's the thing. This isn't really a technology failure. No, this is a design failure. The bot just wasn't built with a plan for when things inevitably go wrong.
Okay, so how do we fix this? Is there a way to design our way out of that frustration? Well, yes, there is. And that brings us to our next section, designing a better conversation. This is all about a discipline called, you guessed it, conversation design. And believe me, it's the secret sauce that turns those clunky, frustrating bots into assistants that are actually helpful. So what is it exactly? Well, think of it as the art and science of making our chats with machines feel, well, human. It's the craft behind the assistants on your phone. You know, Google Assistant, Siri, and those rare chatbots that you actually don't mind talking to. The whole point is to make it feel less like you're typing commands into a machine and more like you're just having a conversation. And I think this quote from Kathy Pearl at Google just nails it. She says, conversation design is essentially teaching computers to communicate like humans and not the other way around. And that's the whole game right there. For so long, we've had to learn how to talk to computers, right? Using these weird, rigid commands. The goal here is to completely flip that so that technology finally learns to speak our language. So how do they do it? How do designers make these conversations feel so natural and, helpful? Well, it's not magic. It really comes down to a few key rules, the rules of a good chat. Okay, rule number 1, guide the user. A good conversation should never leave you guessing what to do next. The whole idea is to set clear expectations and basically hold your hand a little bit to guide you towards success. And this is a perfect example. Look at the don't side. How can I help you? I mean, where do you even start with that? It puts all the pressure on you. But look at the do side. I can help you track an order, check store hours, or connect you to support. Which would you like? See the difference? It's so much clearer. It gives you options and sets you up to succeed from the get-go. Next up is something that's so important, graceful error handling. Because let's be real, things are going to go wrong. The bot isn't always going to understand you. A bad conversation hits a brick wall right there. But a good conversation, it has a recovery plan. The key is that the bot acknowledges the error and then helps you get right back on track. And again, look at this comparison. The don't is just error, try again. It's cold, it's unhelpful, and it kind of feels like it's your fault. But the do version is completely different. Sorry, I didn't get that. It takes the blame. And then it immediately gives you useful examples like book an appointment or check my balance. It doesn't just give up, it keeps the conversation going. All right, enough with the theory. Let's look at how this stuff actually works out in the wild. Because believe me, this isn't just about making things feel nice. Good design has a huge, measurable impact. Okay, so check out this number, 11%. What do you think that is? For one really big brand, this number represented a massive win. It was proof that getting the conversation right literally pays off. So what was it? That's the increase in appointment bookings that Sephora saw right after they launched their reservation assistant chatbot. An 11% jump. That just goes to show you this isn't just some nice-to-have feature. It's a powerful tool that drives real business results because it makes life easier for the customer. And how did they do it? It's actually pretty simple. They just broke down a complicated task into easy, bite-sized steps. First, it asks what you want. Then it finds stores near you. Then it suggests times. And finally, it confirms. See how it's guiding you the whole way? It makes the whole thing feel completely effortless.
And it's not just for making appointments either. Take a company like DHL. They used conversation design to tackle something we all hate doing, tracking a package. They turned that potential chore into a super quick, instant interaction. No more waiting on hold, no more frustration. It's a win-win.
This all leads to a really interesting question. Who are the people actually building this stuff? If you're picturing a room full of just coders, well, you might be surprised. Let's talk about our conversational future. I mean, just look at this list of the people behind the bots. We're talking speech-language pathologists, high school English teachers, game artists, therapists, nurses, copywriters. The field is pulling in experts from all these incredibly different backgrounds. These aren't just coders. They're experts in communication, in empathy, in how people actually think and behave. And you know what? That diversity is the absolute key to making technology that truly gets us. It's the big takeaway. If you want to make AI more human, you need people who have a deep, deep understanding of humanity itself.
So it leaves us with this final big question. As this technology learns how to talk, what are we going to teach it to say? That's the question that these designers, these writers, these thinkers are answering for us right now, one conversation at a time.